of the state to take care of his young people properly. Not attempting to, but taking care of them properly, stricto sensu. You find that a lot of young people tend to look down upon their own selves. That's one. Two, you find a lot of young people doubting themselves and not being too sure about the next step they are taking, because the opportunities and the avenues that have been created or should have been created for them to be able to take their places in society and to win has not been properly provided them. So they tend to look down upon themselves. And then three, you have a situation where you have a lot of young people, because of the first point I raised, that they look down upon themselves, and then two, they doubt themselves. They have a situation where now they become so vulnerable that they become tied to the apron strings of those who may have money or influence or power or whatever it is. And there are many young people in this country who yearn for opportunities but have never had that opportunity. And yet, we get leadership at one point or the other tell the young people of this country that the future of this generation belongs to the young people. The future of this country belongs to the young people. And so then you pause and ask the question, if the future of the country belongs to the young people, why aren't young people being given the right opportunities? And I'm particularly happy that the new government led by President Mahama says that, look at the population of young people we have in this country. So I'm deciding to rope in a lot of young people. But there's a but. The but is that in most of the cases when young people have been given the opportunities, you get to find out that they either fail woefully, or they either disappoint heavily, or they either misbehave or mismanage because of youthful exuberance. Some excel, some also vanish from the scene and never come back again. So this morning, my simple message to young people, giving the preamble I have raised, is that as a young person, you must learn to put value on yourself. Because nobody else will put value on you as a young person and find you right and qualified to fill in a certain space or slot if you, first of all, have not elected to put value on yourself. And here, value is not just about classroom education. No. Value in this sense, for me, as a young person, talking to fellow young people, because I have the opportunity to stand here, not because I'm the most intelligent, is that beyond the classroom experience, there are also soft skills and employable skills, and skills that, like they say on the streets, hacks, that will endear you and make you qualified. And I always talk about the fact that Les Brown talks about the fact that be prepared for the opportunity and not have it, and to have the opportunity and not be prepared for it. A lot of young people do not know that. So they walk and wait for the opportunity, but while they wait, they do not prepare for the opportunity. So that when the opportunity arrives and they are not considered, they begin grumbling. And over the last few weeks, I've had a lot of young people come here with CVs and asking, and when you start probing and asking questions, you find out that while they waited during the fallow period, there was no volunteerism, there was no mentorship programs that they took advantage of, and they just were there eating, sleeping, idle talking, and doing idle stuff. And by the time the opportunity came for them to be pushed in there, it was too late. So this morning, learn to put value on yourself. It could be in your church, it could be in some guild or association, it could be in some society that you're part of, but learn to put value on yourself, because if you do not put value on yourself, nobody will put value on you. I have met some very intelligent taxi drivers whose educations were truncated at the JSS level, not JHS, JSS level. And you listen to the depth of knowledge they have, not because they cannot speak English, the depth of knowledge that they have and the depth of experience that they have in their local dialect, and you'll be amazed. Because where I sit, by the kind mercies and grace of God, you get to interact with a lot of people. Politicians, civil society, all manner of people. You get to go places, you get to meet people. And you get to meet people sometimes holding portfolios, and you engage them and you find out that they know zilch about the roles they hold. And yet they come to the offices or they step into those roles every morning, bossing themselves around. It happens, I'm sure you know. So please, my simple message to all the young people in this country is to put value on yourself. Because if you don't put value on yourself, nobody will put value on you. Now there's a raging conversation about seeming young people, strong, bold, and energetic, seeking to serve in the national security of the Republic of Ghana. And then you also have security experts who are raising concerns about it not being a good thing. Minister for the sector, as Interior Ministry, has set up a 7-member committee. They have for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to present a report. But the question I asked this morning is, what do you need to have in order to work with the national security of the Republic of Ghana? What do you need to have? Is it about muscles? Or is it about brain power? Is it other skills? I want to understand, what do you need to have to be a national security operative? In the past, I've had cause to complain about some persons who you can clearly see that, forgive my French, but this person is daft because they have no diplomacy, they have no tact. They're just walking through and identifying themselves and announcing themselves to everybody that they are national security. Clearly, that person is a danger to himself or herself and the system in which they would work. In the past, we have had people who sell wachi, who are national security people. You know why? Because all manner of people come to them to buy wachi. And if they strike a conversation with them after having developed a relationship with the people over time, the people will be candid enough to share information, sometimes stuff going deep into their lives and into what they do. Something they wouldn't sit in front of a national security operative in an air-conditioned office in suit and tie and tell that person. No. And I say this on good authority, that I have very good friends in very high places and in very well-positioned places who have told me things in confidence and off record, which have stayed in my head, and it will go into my casket with me because they said it to me in trust and confidence. And they knew that, or they know that I would never say it, no matter how provoked or pushed I have been. No. The other day, there was a training somewhere. I was part of it. One of the facilitators saw me and told the whole crowd that, look, I told this man something many years ago. I have not heard it anywhere. I've seen him on TV, heard him on radio over and over again on the subject matter, but he has not said that, so I trust him. This is a big man in this republic. And the examples are replete. That is why people will trust me and come to me. Because no matter how you turn the issues, that portion of the information was for my edification, so that I have a certain back-end conversation, So before I leave, we clarify what is publishable and what is not publishable. And what is in the national interest and just not for in trying to cover up for somebody. No. So there are things that will stay in my head till casket. Try as you may, you will not hear me. No, it will not happen. So that is one angle of value I have been able to place on myself by the mercies and grace of God, because of the work we have done. Because you need to build the sources, cultivate them, and hold them. So that's my line of work. In your line of work, whether what you're doing now or the job you're looking for, how have you put value on yourself as a young person to be able to position yourself such that you get to wine and dine, wash your hands with elders, and yet keep your safe distance, and then you still maintain the respect? How have you done that? So your party is in power, yes? Your party is less than 3 months in power, yes? And you see, this a replica of what we saw earlier. And politicians will always fuel some of these things because they know that because you have not put value on yourself, they don't put value on you. So you will be used. And in this world, they say monkeys play by sizes. You must know your size. You cannot tell me that you have not sat in any classroom, you have not learned any strategy in security, you do not know anything about security, but you want to be the national security coordinator. There must be something wrong with you. What are you coordinating? What really are you going to coordinate? What are you going to coordinate? What are you really going to coordinate? So you must know your space. You must know your place in the scheme of things. And you must stick and brighten the corner where you are. Don't punch beyond your height. The guns say, manye manye egbiobulu. If you know you cannot and you convince everybody that you can, it will kill you. Manye manye egbiobulu. Robert Coban of Wembley Sports will tell you, Manyama fe etamo in le femo. To wait, I can do it is not the same as I know how to do it. So please, Bojidila. Now, let's talk about galamsey. And show me how the Bui Dam looks like. The Bui Dam. It's part of the areas that provide us, one of the systems that we created as a country that provides us electricity or power, the Bui Dam. Very beautiful. Over 400 megawatts of power, I'm told. That's what it provides for us. Now, if you look at the beauty of the Bui Dam, you wouldn't have thought in any way and on any day that some people, nation wreckers, wicked people, how else? Detractors would want to put their life or endanger the very existence of the Bui Dam. You don't get it. This is what the Bui Dam looks like. And this was called from the website of the Bui Dam Authority. Or the Bui Power Authority, let me put it that way. Now show me what the galamseyers are doing on the river. And it's a pity. Look at them. Look at what they're doing. They're right there in the heart of the portion that supplies water. The hydro power that we need, the pressure and everything that we need, where it's supposed to be feeding the dam, that's where they have found it necessary to engage in galamsey. So when I told you in the past that there was never a fight against galamsey, and some of you came fighting me, in spite of all the investment we had made in that space, this is what I meant. They are on the river, the river that feeds the Bui, they are on it. And the color of the water is changing. Even though water is supposed to be colorless, it's changed over time. Water is supposed to be colorless and odorless. But now this water has color and has odor. So the whole concept of fighting galamsey should not be reduced to, oh, let's gather a few military men, give them guns, policemen, and announce to the people that we are coming to chase them before we go and chase them. I say, look, these chamfans, they are not tea bread for you to, compress and put in your pocket, as we used to do in primary school. You put granite paste in there, you compress the tea bread, and you put it in your pocket and you take it to school. No. They're not like that. They're not like Auntie Mary's, tea bread. No. The owners of these things must be found. The financiers of this wicked act and evil must be found. The enablers and collaborators who have deep pockets must be found and dealt with. If you found only 10 financiers of galamsey who are able to afford excavators, chamfan, generator, pump action guns, mercury, cyanide, petrol, pay people by day, if you found only 10 of them and put them before a competent court of jurisdiction and jailed them, this nonsense will stop. If you found only 10 of them, I stood here once upon a time and told you that my program, this Johnny's Bite, will not end. You will find some jokers in the erstwhile administration. You find some jokers who will go into galamsey sites pretending to be chasing people. Look, there's a news story that was done about a year ago around the same place of how the forests around the Bui area, the extent of damage, in the heart of the forest. It is not a joke. The new minister says he's committed to working at it. The former minister says we are committed to working at it. Before then, there was another minister. Everybody says we are committed. But what levels of commitment is there? Because you see, this water you see, it will be used to prepare food for you to eat, and you will die eventually. Fishes from this water will be harvested, and then they will be, smoked and transported to you. And you will eat it in your cities and big towns, and you will die. Oh yes, you will die. This was in the erstwhile administration. Oh, this is the former minister for lands and natural resources. This video was taken then. The situation has not changed now. So you see, helicopter, we had a rifle. Yeah, we like the optics. We are not all right. I'm telling you, as a country, what is disturbing us and what is killing all of us, we are not focused. We are always interested in re-engineering the narrative and attacking people. I say, Johnnie Hughes, he's talking too much. Let's send people on social media, attack him. Let's try and hack his accounts. Let's do this, let's do that. If you are not a nation wrecker, you wouldn't be thinking along those lines. I am for Ghana. I have been like this since I was at Pravda Radio, since I came to TV Africa, Viasat 1, 3FM, TV3. I have been like that since 19 Kojoho. You cannot change me. If you ask my primary school teachers, they will tell you. If you go to my church and ask them, maybe my bishop knows. If you ask my mother, they will tell you. That is how I am. And I didn't borrow it. It came from my father. I'll say it straight. Ping, ping. If you like, don't give him the post. He doesn't care. But what will kill all of us, it has to be minus me. If you want it to kill you, fine, and then shut up. But if I don't want to kill it, let those of us who don't want galamsey to kill us talk. This nonsense must stop. As Dr. Lawrence Tete says, this nonsense must stop. Now let's go to the schools so that we can wrap up. I was moved to tears. And you see, in the past, I spoke about this. In the past, I spoke about this situation. When our people went there to take these shots, the teachers were scared. They said, oh, if this information gets out, the headmistress will be angry. And once the headmistress gets angry, we will be dealt with. This is Upper East Region, Tempani District, the Bugri Primary School. This is class 3. Upper East Region, Bugri Primary School in the Tempani District, class 3. Not a single chair. Look at the teacher's table. It's like a chop bar table. No motivation. Not a single chair. We're here bragging that, oh, education is better, outcome is better, blah, blah, blah. We're all the bragging. The former education minister, the man who wanted to be our vice president, he was our education minister then, right? Dr. Matthew Boku Prempe. And then we had another doctor, Dr. Osei Aduchum. The two of them had worked at the ministry for 8 years. This problem was not solved. But before the previous government came to power, the vice president of that regime, who was then the vice presidential candidate, went around presenting desks and tables to students. That's to spite. I'm saying that if you care about the Republic of Ghana, you would dare not politicize education, health, security, energy, and agric. Unfortunately, we have done all of that. Because we politicized this, we injected fear into the teachers and the headmasters and the headmistresses to the extent that even though they see that the children are suffering, they cannot talk about it, and they will also prevent their teachers from talking about it, and the security supervisors will go and do whatever useless inspections in these schools, and then they will come back and write a good report and send it to Accra. So we are all fooling ourselves, knowing that we are not doing what is right. Tell me which politician in a high place will have his children sitting on the floor this morning to learn. Tell me which politician. NDC, MPP, CPP, PPP, PPP, TPP, all the PPs. Tell me which one. And this is an inherited problem. It's not a problem created by this government. But you have somebody who has taflacha, water in their head, come to tell you that, oh, there's a new government and they have to fix it. But you told us you had fixed it. The Bugri Primary School, Tempani District. You told us you had fixed it. So how is it that suddenly all the chairs were used as firewood to boil kenke for the children to eat? And suddenly they have to now sit on the floor like prisoners who are being transported from Salaga through to wherever to come to Cape Coast or the Christianborg Castle to be transported outside. We have been so unfair to our children. And that is why I started my conversation with putting value on yourself, because you're waiting for the system to put value on you. You will never get that value. I'm telling you. Think about what I have said. Think about it carefully. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Johnnie Hughes.
Yes, Ima from Amomole. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, my boss,
Great.
This morning.
Talk to me.
Thank you very much. Mr. Johnnie, please, may I know from you, yesterday's press conference, did it come on?
No, it didn't happen.
Thank you very much. Because, you see, I heard Patrick Boama and others were pleading for Dr. Amin Adams. Yesterday...
Were they not the same people supporting him that he spoke the truth?
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you. So, I am really shocked with Mr. Johnnie. Really, really shocked. That's why I question about the man's level of integrity and level of education. Because a man someone has destroyed the economy so badly, Kenoforata. You a latter day saint minister. At least if it were to be Kenoforata to do this damage control, Mr. Johnny, I wouldn't have been so surprised. But you, Dr. Amin Adam, even if you were promised the whole world, any rational human being, Mr. Johnny, would never do what Amin Adam did. But you know, we want it that way. They should keep on. As I said yesterday, that he who the ghost wants to kill first made him mad. They should keep on exposing themselves this way, so that there will be a race, totally erased from our political space.